I am Sgt Totten-Freiermuth, and I will be presenting on lifelong learning today. This brief is unclassified. Today's scope. The objective of today's briefing is to speak about lifelong learning in and out of the Army and the benefits it has to the individual as well as the Army as a whole. Today's enabling learning objective. Action. Introduce lifelong learning to soldiers. Condition. PowerPoint presentation through video. Standard. Implements lifelong learning techniques into everyday life. The Army Learning Model. This model began in 2015 when the Army Learning Concept of 2015 realized that the Army needed a greater focus on the education of future soldiers. This model has taken a more learner-centric rather than educator-centric approach to learning, focusing rather than on static presentations to be more on collaborative teamwork. This type of teamwork and collaboration builds greater engagement as well as greater retention of these subjects. Learning methods. Everyone learns differently. Many people learn better with hands-on approaches, and this model seeks to apply more of that to everyday Army life. This pyramid shows the average retention after 2 weeks of different types of learning. Through lecture, we tend to only remember about 5%, reading 10%, audio and visual only about 20%, demonstration 30%, discussion group 50%, practice by doing 75%, and finally teaching others, we tend to remember about 90% of what we teach. A great quote by Confucius is, "I see and I forget, I hear and I remember, I do and I understand." This picture shows the leader development. The three domains of leader development are operational domain, institutional domain, and self-development domain. The operational domain focuses on training. This would be group training that you might do with your unit out in the field. Institutional domain focuses on education, where you would be studying different subjects in order to better yourself for any potential future mission, such as learning about the environment of a foreign country. Self-development focuses on experience. This would be your everyday job. So anything you would do in your given MOS, for myself that is 91 Echo, that would be machining or welding is my everyday job, and having hands-on chances at that will increase my experience through the self-development domain. This is a picture of a cycle. The active experimentation is planning or trying out what has been learned already. Concrete experience, doing or having an experience. Reflective observation is reviewing or reflecting on that said experience, and abstract conceptualization is reflecting and seeing what you had learned in conclusion from that experience, leading back to active experimentation of planning and trying out what had been learned. Skills-based training. This type of training focuses on a more hands-on approach, as was stated before. This approach was implemented in AIT by 2016. As an example, 91 Echo, our training was 19 weeks long, and 17 weeks of that was spent on the shop floor, actually working on given tasks from our instructors. Through that, I felt I learned far better than if I had been stuck sitting in a classroom for that entire time, unable to actually do anything that I felt I should be doing. Also, another push that this type of training focuses on is rewarding soldiers with certifications that they can use in the outside world, aside from the Army. As an example, for 91 Echo, my certifications were on, or from the National Institute of Metalworking Skills, or NIMS for short. Learning after the military. Because our Army life may end, that does not mean learning outside of the Army does not. Jobs are needed once Army has ended. The ALM, or Army Leader Model, or Army Learning Model, and skills-based training help in civilian life by rewarding us with the ability to learn more efficiently and with greater capacity. And skills-based training allows us to help ourselves with greater knowledge and ability to perform different tasks. Going back to the certifications, through that, our civilian opportunities are expanded so that we may more easily get jobs by employers. Through my certifications with NIMS, I was able to easily get a civilian job through my current company after I finished with AIT and returned to the reserves and civilian side. In summary, today we have discussed the Army Learning Model and skills-based training and how they help develop the individual as well as the Army into a more efficient fighting force. Are there any questions? Thank you for coming to my presentation today.